counsel.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on jury instructions on page 34, 3.13, submitting case to jury. In just a few moments, you will be taken to the jury room by the court deputy. The first thing you should do is choose a foreperson who will preside over your deliberations. The foreperson should see to it that your discussions are carried on in an organized way and that everyone has a fair chance to be heard. It is also the foreperson's job to sign and date the verdict form when all of you have agreed on a verdict and to bring the verdict forms back to the courtroom when you return. During deliberations, jurors must communicate about the case only with one another and only when all jurors are present in the jury room. If a juror goes to the restroom, the deliberation should stop until the juror returns. You are not to communicate with any person outside the jury about this case. Until you have reached a verdict, you must not talk about this case in person or through the telephone, writing, or electronic communication such as a blog, Twitter, email, text message, or any other means. Do not contact anyone to assist you during deliberations. These communication rules apply until I discharge you at the end of the case. If you become aware of any violation of these instructions or of any other instruction I have given in this case, you must tell me by giving a note to our court deputy. Many of you have cell phones, tablets, laptops, or other electronic devices here in the courtroom. The rules do not allow you to bring your phones or any of those types of electronic devices into the jury room. Kindly leave those devices on your seats where they will be guarded by the court deputy while you deliberate. If you need to communicate with me, send a note to the court deputy. If you have voted, do not disclose the actual vote in the note. If you have a question, I will talk with the attorneys before I answer, so it may take some time. You may continue your deliberations while you wait for my answer. I will answer any question, if I can, in writing or orally here in open court. During the trial, items were received in evidence as exhibits. You may examine whatever exhibits you think will help you in your deliberations. These exhibits will be sent into the jury room with you when you begin to deliberate. In closing, let me remind you that it is important that you follow the law spelled out in these instructions in deciding your verdict. There are no other laws that apply to this case. Even if you do not like the laws that must be applied, you must use them. For more than 2 centuries, we have lived by the Constitution and the law. No juror has the right to violate the rules we all share. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to send into the jury room with you with the verdict forms. There's also going to be a computer which has been you are able to use to see any of the electronic items of evidence that are in evidence. So you'll have that in the jury room with you with the evidence so you can view it if you, during your deliberations. Also, there may be items of evidence that do not go back if they have a hazardous material on, they're identified as hazardous. They don't go back to the jury room, but if you want to see any of those items of evidence, they'll be here in the courtroom. We have the gloves here in the courtroom, and they'll be shown to you. Just let us know through a note that you want to view an item of evidence that's not back in the jury room, and we'll make arrangements to have it shown to you. All right? At this time, I'm going to ask you to remain in the courtroom. The other jurors are free to go back to the jury room now. To commence deliberations, you can take your notepads as well as your jury instructions with you, and I'm going to verify with the attorneys that all the evidence is here, and that will be following the bailiff back into the jury room in a few minutes. All right? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can retire and commence your deliberations. You're not excused. You don't, unfortunately, as an alternate this time. You're not going to go back in to deliberate. We may or may not need you to come back. We have your information. So you're not being excused. The admonition I gave you previously remains in full force and effect. You are not to discuss the case. Don't form any opinion about the case. Don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence. There's certainly no research. There may be things in the media. You're not to look at those things. Just turn it off. All right? We very much appreciate the fact that you're here and willing to serve. But at this juncture, you're not excused. We'll hold your notepads here, and we're going to contact you if need be. All right, ladies and gentlemen? All right? Could you escort them out? Thank you.
Yes.
Just give your notepads to the bailiff, please, and she's going to secure those. Thank you. All right, let the record reflect the two alternates who now also have been excused from the courtroom. Counsel remain along with the defendant. Anything to discuss, counsel?
No, sir.
Mr. Devens?
Restroom.
You need the restroom? You're more than welcome to use the restroom. We'll arrange for that. But you like how everything went? The presentation your attorneys made? Satisfied?